meet people through similar centers. You know, you both have a defined ajna. One of the things you'll find is similar centers is one of the best ways to cheat the genes. Now, by the way, you can't look for that, you know. You're going to find that if you have a relationship in which one partner is ego and the other partner isn't, you know, you got problems. One partner defines self, other partner doesn't. You got problems. One partner defines spleen, other partner doesn't. Problems. You know, you have emotional, non-emotional problems. Now, it doesn't say that that's not productive, and it doesn't say you can't deal with those problems if you're aware, but it does mean that they're there in your face automatically from the moment you get into the relationship. So one of the best ways to fool the genes is to fool them through centers. You know, if you have a defined mind, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable with people with a defined mind. You just will. You know, familiarity through centers is something that's great. Emotional people are comfortable with emotional people. Ego people are comfortable with ego people, splenic people, and so forth. Birds of a feather, blah, blah, blah. So if you have that commonality in the center, you have a way of finding the familiarity and the grounding that familiarity brings. It's like companionship. It's very grounding to have that solid familiarity in your relationship. And of course, in the two of them, sharing that in the 4426, you can see that what they really share is this public position in the tribe. You know, these are the transmitters putting out the propaganda of the tribe, you know, selling their fairy tale, you know, putting all of that out. And they share that together. So they both share that kind of ego presence on the outside. In other words, they could be very comfortable with each other in that role. She's comfortable with him being a prince. He's comfortable with her being the princess. In other words, they can do that movie together. And when things are rough for them, you know, when they have to go out, you know, they're in their private quarters fighting like dogs and cats, and then the bell rings and they have to go out and do some public presentation, they're perfect. And you would never know that, and they're very comfortable with each other in that situation. And if you knew them intimately, you'd find it hard to understand that the warmth that they display while they're doing their public job is genuine, you know, for each other. And yet 10 minutes before, in the confines of their whatever, you know, you've got this heated debate or whatever. This is the beauty of companionship. You know, in companionship, all of the hostility, all of the business of the inherent competitiveness in relationships can disappear because you have this nice, comfortable place where there's no competition. None.